Hi, my name is Sanat Biswal, also known as the accountant guy, and in this video I am going to help you explain how you can utilize this template to track all your tax payments. So we will have a quarterly tax payment section where you can track all your tax liabilities in one glance. So first of all, you will get a tax payment summary on the top which displays three things. We have the accounts to begin with. So accounts is where you set up all your revenue sources and your expense sources. So revenue sources are those where we will be incurring the tax liabilities, and expense sources are those where we will be availing the input tax credit to set off from the tax liability. So over here I have added two revenue sources, that is the services and goods, and I have got one expense source as the purchases. If you want to add a revenue source or expense source, you can utilize this quick action button on the left. So if I click on add revenue source, it will automatically add a revenue account over here, as you can see. And if you click on add expense source, it will add an expense account over here. And then you can utilize this pencil icon to start feeding in the details whatever revenue expense source that you have. So I'm going to quickly delete this, then we're going to move further with this explanation. So once you have added the revenue and expense source, you can see that it indicates 2 and 1. So 2 indicates 2 revenue sources and 1 indicates 1 expense source. So as you keep on adding, this number will automatically get updated. Then you're moving on to the financial sections. Financials is where you will be able to track all your revenue amount and the expense amount along with the tax liability and the input taxes respectively. So we have got services as revenue and goods as revenue. So services has got $2,000 of total revenues earned from the services, which we have entered the transactions that we'll explaining in a while, and it has a total tax liability of $200. So this is again a 10% tax that I have put in the transaction section over here, which we'll learn in a while. So once you feed in all the details in the transactions view that we have at the bottom, everything gets updated on the top. And similarly for all the purchases we have made, we have got input taxes of $10. Okay. So if you move to the quarterly taxes after this, it reflects all the tax payments that you have to make for each quarter. So we've got 4 quarters over here, and for each quarter we have got taxes payable, the input tax and the tax liability. So we have booked 2 transactions for the revenue and the expense at the bottom, all relating to quarter 3. So that is why we have the updated figures in quarter 3 reflecting as taxes payable, input tax and the tax liability. So this is how you can view the summary part of the taxes on the upper side. Now we're going to scroll down to the bottom to understand more of the transaction side. So once you have finished setting up your sources of revenue and expense in the account side, you can scroll down to the bottom to move to the transaction section. Again, transactions are classified into 2 types. One is revenue and the other is expense. For the revenue part, you can click on add revenue button over here. It will automatically add a new line item for the revenue side. So it picks the current date that you are on while you're adding this new revenue. So then you can select the period. So once you click on this, you have like 4 periods set for here. So September falls in quarter 3, I'll select quarter 3. Then you have the account. So once you click on this, you will again have the accounts that you have added as a revenue and expense. So maybe I'm selecting goods over here. Then you can feed in the amount. So let's say I'm putting $1,000. Then you can put the tax rate. So let's say I'm putting tax rate at 8%. Okay. So once I select 8%, it automatically shows the tax payable as $80. Okay. Total is coming as $80. So if you move to the top, you go to the quarterly taxes, the entire thing gets updated over here as $280. And similarly, the tax liability is showing as $270. 280 less $10 input is $270 reflected over here. Now similarly, on a similar note, you can add an expense. So once you click on this add expense, it automatically adds a new expense with the current date. So I'm going to quickly again fill up all the details that we just discussed. So this is quarter 3. Then I'm going to select the account, which can be my purchases. Then I'm going to fill in the amount. Let's say I'm filling in $500. Then the tax rate, let's say I'm putting 10%. Okay, so $50 is my input credit. So total input credit is 50 plus 10, that is $60, which is getting reflected over here. Okay, now tax liability is $220. It takes a while to get this updated over here. You need not worry, it will automatically update in time. So as of now, you can see that the total tax liability we have is $220. So this is how you can utilize this transaction section and the tax payments summary section to understand why your tax payments are. Another thing to note over here is we have a profit loss section which shows the total revenue that you have earned from all transactions, the expenses that you have booked so far, and the total profit that you have made. Okay, so this is how you can utilize this tax payment tracker to track all your tax payments. I hope this explanation was clear to you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at notionformyuse@gmail.com. I'll be happy to assist you further on this. Thank you.